Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ain binti Muhammad Amin. Metric number is I191-03637. I am present about financial planning industry in Malaysia. So we go to the introduction. Islamic financial planning is the product of Islamic finance and financial planning. Every business unit, whether it is an industrial establishment, a trading concern, or a construction company, needs funds for carrying on its activities successfully. It requires funds to acquire fixed assets like machines, equipment, furniture, etc., and to purchase raw materials or finished goods to pay its creditors, to meet its day-to-day expenses, and so on. Okay, so Islamic financial planners are crucially needed to provide the service of advising clients on how to plan and acquire, including financial assets that are Sharia compliant. The development of Islamic financial planning in Malaysia is linked to the development of conventional financial planning. The National Association of Malaysian Life Insurance and Financial Advisors, NAMLIFA, then known as the National Association of Malaysian Life Insurance Agents, NAMLIA, introduced the first course in 1996 for its members through the Financial and Life Financial Planners Council, FLPC, known then as the Life Financial Planners Council, LPC. The second program also was introduced by the Malaysian Insurance Institute (MII) in 1997 as Chartered Financial Consultant (CHFC). Both these programs were generally perceived as courses designed for insurance agents and were mainly led by the insurance sector. Okay, next, definition of financial planning. The process of estimating the capital required and determining its composition. It is the process of framing financial policies in relation to procurement, investment, and administration of funds of an enterprise. Okay, so the requirement of finance nowadays is so large that no individual is in a position to provide the whole amount from his personal sources. The businessman has to depend on other sources and use various ways to raise the necessary amount of funds. And every businessman has to be very careful not only in assessing the firm's requirement of finance, but also in the forms in which funds are raised and utilized. Objective of financial planning. First, determining capital requirements. Okay, this will depend upon factors like cost of current and fixed assets, promotional expenses, and long-range planning. Capital requirements have to be looked with both aspects, like short-term and long-term requirements. Second, determining capital structure. The capital structure is the composition business of capital, such as the relative kind and proportion of capital required in the business. This also includes decisions of the equity ratio, both short-term and long-term. Third, framing financial policies. It is with regards to cash control, lending, borrowing, and etc. Fourth, ensures that the scarce financial resources are maximally utilized in the best possible manner. This is at least cost in order to get maximum returns on investment. Okay, financial planning is ibadah. This is a statement. You will plant grain for 7 consecutive years, living in the air whatever you will harvest except for the little you will eat. Then, after that, will come 7 years of great hardship, which will consume whatever you have saved, except the little you will store for seed. Then, after that, will come a year in which people will receive abundant rain, and they will press oil and wine. So this is from Surah Yusuf, verse 47 to 49. It's explained about financial planning is basically a discipline about of wealth management that applies to the unique needs and concern of each individual respectively. So all Muslims, regardless of their economic wealth, is required to manage their wealth property as they have responsibility on both their assets and liabilities. For Muslims, when their assets reach a certain level, they have to pay zakat as a way to purification. On the other hand, when they have liabilities or debts, they have to repay the debts. Thus, financial planning will help Muslims to manage their wealth wisely and keep alert on their responsibility to pay zakat and debt. Characteristic of a sound financial planning. Okay, the plan must be simple. Um, this shows that nowadays we have a large variety of securities that can be issued to raise capital from the market, but it is considered better to confine to equity shares and simple fixed interest debentures. It must take a long-term view. This explains why estimating the capital needs of a firm and raising the required funds, a long-term view is necessary. It ensures that the plan fully provides for meeting the capital requirement on long-term basis and takes care of the change in capital requirement from year to year. It must be flexible. While the financial plan is based on long-term view, one may not be able to properly visualize the possible developments in future. Not only that, the firm may also change its plans of expansion for various reasons. Hence, it is very necessary that the financial plan is capable of being adjusted and revised without any difficulty and delay so as to meet the requirement of the changed circumstance. It must ensure optimal use of funds. The plan should provide for raising reasonable amount of funds. So, as stated earlier, the business should neither be starved of funds nor have surplus funds. It also must be strictly neat based on every rupee raised should be effectively utilized. There also should be no idle funds. Okay, moreover, limitation of financial planning. First, difficulties in forecasting. Plans are decisions, and decisions require facts about the future. Financial plans are prepared by taking into account the expected situations in the future. And this is also which is always uncertain. Since future conditions cannot be forecast accurately, the adaptability of planning is seriously limited. One way to offset the limitation is to improve forecasting techniques. Another way to overcome this limitation is to revise plans periodically. The development of variable plans, which take changing conditions into consideration, will go a long way in eliminating this limitation. Second, rapid change. In rapid change, the growing mechanism of industry is bringing rapid change in industrial processes. So the method of production, marketing devices, consumer preference create new demand every time, and the incorporation of new chains require a change in financial plan every time. This is also once investments are made in fixed assets, then these decisions cannot be reserved. It becomes very difficult to adjust the financial plan for incorporating fast-changing solutions, unless a financial plan helps the adoption of new techniques its utility becomes limited. Third, difficulty in change. Another serious difficulty in planning is the reluctance or inability of the management to change a plan once it has been made. So assets may be to be purchased again, and raw materials also costs may have to be incurred. Fourth, problem of coordination. Financial functions is the most important of all functions. Other functions also influence a decision about financial plan, while estimating financial means, production policy, personnel requirements, marketing possibilities are all taken into account unless plan becomes difficult. There are also often lack of coordinate among different functions. Even in decision among personnel disturbs the process of financial planning. Okay, differences of financial planning. There are between Islamic financial planning and conventional financial planning. Okay, in time horizon, Islamic financial planning covers worldly life and the hereafter, while conventional financial planning, it only covers worldly life and creates strategies to help clients achieve their financial goals. Objective Islamic financial planning is to achieve state of al-falah in the hereafter, while conventional financial planning, planners concentrate on winning and servicing the clients in orderly manner according to ethical and professional standards. Goal is for personal satisfaction. The method of Islamic financial planning is to provide impartial advisory and at the same time must conform to Sharia. The planner's function, deemed as part of ibadah, balance between personal social obligation and the hereafter. While conventional financial planning, the method is to provide impartial advisory to act in the best interest of the client instead of being a mere product pusher, balance between personal and social obligations. Okay, then achieving al-falah in Islamic financial planning, bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and these resources are not scarce. Man as a trustee is not the ultimate owner of goods or properties planned during lifetime and hereafter, while conventional financial planning, scarcity of resources, ownership is on an individual basis planned for during one's lifetime only. Okay, so in this, there are the steps for successful financial planning. There are 7 steps, which is step 1, understand the client's personal and financial circumstance. Step 2, identify and select goals. Step 3, analyze the client's course of action and alternatives. Step 4, develop the financial planning recommendations. Step 5, present the financial planning recommendations. Step 6, implement the financial planning recommendations. And the last step is step 7, which is monitor the progress and update accordingly. So, in conclusion, a personal financial plan is an essential part of financial success. This plan must include financial goals for every stage of life. Without financial goals to work towards, money will be squandered away frivolously. So we have to spend money wisely so that we can make financial planning. These financial goals will affect every aspect of financial decisions that are made. Once these goals have been set, it is important to revisit these goals on a yearly basis and make adjustments if necessary. However, the first financial goals to set are short-term goals. The financial goals also need to be specific and need to have target dates for achieving goals. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for hearing. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Bye.